our society throughout the pandemic, and we have taken all sorts of measures and provided all incentives. We initiated the social protection shield, provided loans and subsidies for unemployment, incentives for normalization and household normalization support packages, and totally 45 billion lira financial assistance package was offered to our people. Therefore, we have ensured that no citizen of our country is facing difficulty unemployed. We have never forgotten the craftsmen or the workers, and we will be bringing in further regulations. The Ministry of Treasury and Finance will share the new regulations to be put in effect for the industrialists, for SMEs, for artisans and craftsmen, for small shop owners. We have materialized many incentive, many support packages. Even the developed countries are facing such a large health and economic crisis, but thank God, without facing any large-scale trouble or disaster, we have made our way to this current day and paved the way open. And we are closely following the studies related with locally developed vaccines, and we have made many contacts for the vaccines developed over the world. By the next spring, within the framework of the pandemic, everything will be brought up to the best level possible, and we are working with all power we have for production. The exit through this pandemic is possible through production, investment, and with legal reforms. We are restructuring our country, and we are planning to targeting to bring our country among the top 10 of the world by strictly upholding our togetherness and unity. We will be tackling all the internal and external threats, will consolidate, further strengthen our democracy and our economy, and reach our goals. Water is life, distinguished guests. As our country does not have rich water resources, it is a must for us to use our resources as productively as possible. As you know, we are facing a drought now. The precipitation rates have fallen almost by half, and therefore we all together need to attach importance to water consumption. Due to the pandemic and pandemic-related restrictions, there has been a significant increase in water consumption. Institutions and citizens of this country should stand hand in hand, and we need a very effective water consumption method. For the better use of water resources, we have to think thoroughly about such difficult times, and we, for that reason, have made significant investments. 585 dams and 584 hydro power plants, more than 1,000 irrigation plants, 247 potable water facilities, about 5,000 flood-related facilities, flood prevention facilities were constructed, and we made history, and we supported all the means we have with other methods, other smaller scale methods, and worked productively, and therefore we have to work harder to make sure that our dams store more water during these challenging times. And I would like to thank to the State Hydraulic Works for their great works and contributions. Gaziantep, where we opened the drinking water distribution pipeline, the Düzba potable drinkable water project is the second largest drinking water project of our country. The project was designed by Gaziantep Greater Municipality and the construction by State Hydraulic Works, and it is going to be transferring the water of Göksu River to Gaziantep. And thanks to the supply of the water, thanks to the transfer of water through natural slope systems, the system has been very fruitful, very productive, and our municipality has had the chance to supply our cities and districts with drinking water very easily. And our municipality has reflected all their great work onto practice. About 100 billion cubic meters of water can be transferred in the capacity of this dam. And when other phases of the construction are complete, this figure will increase even harder. And Doganpinar Dam has a storing capacity of 153 million cubic meters, and it will also irrigate a large area, agricultural area. The dam that rises as high as 153 meters. When the irrigation ducts and channels are complete in their construction, it will be bringing in more than 58,000 additional jobs. And the Doganpinar Dam and the irrigational area will be enlarged. We will include an additional 80,000 acres of area and make Gaziantep one of the most attractive agricultural production sites of our country. The first phase of this will be completed by the first irrigation season, and we will complete the other phases of the project gradually. Of course, the only investment in water dams and lakes are not of those projects I mentioned before. When I put all these projects aside, I have to also mention many other investments that are at the stages of projects and investment. For example, Çetintepe Dam has been completed by 75%. Kayacık and Kılavuzlu dams irrigation projects are ongoing phase by phase. Burçatın dam construction is ongoing. In Rizip and Karkamış, a project that will irrigate 35,000 acres of area, and growth filling and protection systems have now been completed in their construction. As you can see, for Gaziantep as well as for all other 81 provinces of our country, we are benefiting in the best way from the blessings that God has bestowed us with in natural resources. Gaziantep, with its historical and cultural riches, its industry, agriculture, trade, well-trained, educated human capital, and with its hard work, represent our country the best way possible, and it stands as an exemplary province. And the city represents 2/3 of the industrial activity ongoing in the region, and it contributes to the totality of the industrial production of our country tremendously. It has almost 1,000 big companies that contribute to the economy of the country, and many, of course, SMEs operating, and it contributes a lot. But of course, there are some challenges. For example, 15,000 heavy vehicles ingoing and outgoing heavy vehicles are what we see in the city. Therefore, we need a strong infrastructure. And there are preliminary works for an area of 500 acres, and this logistics village project will connect Gaziantep to the ports of Mersin and other cities. An organized industrial zone, highways and roads will make the incoming and outgoing raw material transfer and shipping in the city. We also will build a new terminal, a bus station, and it will be completed soon in its construction. The city center and the suburban areas, as well as the industrial organized zones, will be interconnected through railway systems, and 12 out of 16 stations of this railway line now have been completed, and the remaining phase will be finished before long, and it will come to the service of our people. The fast train line the line has been completed in its construction by 25% in one district and 50% in another district. So the completed sites, the completed phases and the stations are now being open for service. And the ferry lines are also very important for the region, and these lines will be more effectively used and for productivity, for cost effectiveness. All these matters should be taken into account. For Gaziantep, we are building a city hospital of more than 1,800 bed capacity. In line with the needs of the global pandemic and the needs of the region itself, we will ensure that the completion of the city hospital comes to fruition as soon as possible. Through TOKİ, we have built many stores, buildings, mosques, healthcare facilities, and almost 20,000 dwelling houses. With the North City project, we, if you will, have now been constructing 50,000 additional building units, apartments for Gaziantep, and in this project, roads, sewerage, rainwater, storing facilities, and many other infrastructure have now been completed, and instead of the in the location of the old stadium, a national garden is now being constructed. In Izmir and other districts of Gaziantep, we're making preparations for 2 more national gardens to be constructed, and this amounts to more than $1 billion of investment. And we have built one of the most beautiful and modern stadia of the world in Gaziantep, and we made it easier for our young people to reach out to sports facilities and complexes. And as the president of the country, myself, I am determined to contribute and support all sorts of investments to be made into Gaziantep. With these thoughts in mind, I once again hope that the drinking water distribution pipeline of Gaziantep and Düzba, and as well Doganpinar Dam, hopefully will be auspicious for our city, for the dams, and for all the projects that have now been completed. We should now zoom in so that our people can also watch all those projects we have now materialized. On one hand, we have dams, and on the other hand, we have giant water distribution lines. We should all have a look at those. Our whole nation, we should have a look at that all together now. AK Party rule means the rule of services. Gaziantep
hattında
Düzba
ve
drinking
Doğanpınar
water
Barajı
distribution line and
açılış
Doganpinar
gördüğünüz gibi.
Dam now are on the screen.
Bunlar laf ola beri gele değil. İcraat.
And these are all actual works, not only words.
Tabii bu vesileyle
And of course,
yüklenişim
using this
firmalara
opportunity,
da
I would like to
teşekkür ediyorum.
thank to the contracting companies.
Evet değerli arkadaşlar,
Yes, distinguished friends,
makas,
you
kordela,
have the scissors, you have the
sizde
ribbon,
aynı zamanda butonların başında
and there are also
değerli
buttons.
bakan arkadaşlarım var.
We have
Belediye
distinguished
başkanımız var.
ministers and the
Hep
mayor
birlikte
of the city.
Kordelaları
All together,
kesiyoruz.
you will
Makaslar
be
size
cutting the
bugünün
ribbon and keep the
hatırasıdır.
scissors as
Ona göre
souvenirs of this very
İstanbul'dan
day.
sizlere selamlar.
And we send
Ya
our
Allah,
greetings all the way
Bismillah.
from Istanbul to you all.
Abdülhamit Bey butona bastınız değil mi? Bekir Bey bastınız mı? Fatma Hanım bastınız mı?
Bekir
Hayırlı
Bey,
olsun.
Fatma Hanım, Abdulhamid Bey, I guess you all pressed on the button
Bastık
to
efendim.
open
Kalmadı galiba.
officially.
Makas falan yok mu size? Makas falan yok mu size?
Efendim buton var. Bir de şöyle bir şey düşündük. Suya hasret kaldığımız bu günlerde
Mr.
genç
President,
kızlarımız Gaziantep yerel kıyafetleriyle
here we
buradan
have some
menbaı
young
suyu
girls
kalitesinde
wearing the folkloric
suyumuzu bize ikram
traditional
edecekler. Eğer müsaade
clothing
ederseniz
of Gaziantep,
sizlerin
and they
yerine de
will
içeceğiz
serve
efendim.
us
Afiyet
the
olsun.
water of this
Bunlar
city.
biliyorsunuz
And
büyüklerimizin ifadesiyle abı hayattır.
this is
Yani
the
hayat
water of
suyu.
life, as you know, as
Abdülhamit Bey
our
maskeyi çek de öyle iç.
grandfathers would say. Abdulhamid Bey, you
Hayat
should
suyu.
remove your mask
Afiyet
and then
olsun.
drink the water. Enjoy.
O zaman burada makas yok. Burada da
I guess you don't have
hatıra
ribbons
olarak bence alıp
or
götürmenizde
scissors
fayda var.
there, but it's now maybe possible for you to take those cups, traditional cups, as souvenirs for today.
Sağ olun.
Thank you.